So Pat, on that, Woods Cross doesn't have a representative on the Relations Board. It's not one that any of us are on. So, yeah, and now that you say that, I'm gonna have to go look at mine. My wife didn't tell me anything about it. The mortgage pays it, so I need to go look at mine and maybe ask the same question.
Okay, well, good luck. Let me know when you
Thank
find
you.
out how much I'm not anything out.
Thanks, Pat, appreciate that. Okay, anything else for the open session? Let's move on then to the Youth City Council report, Mayor Robinson.
Good evening.
Great smile on your face.
So, for our report this month, last month actually we had Santa Town, which seems to be a success. Most of our youth were inside, which is really nice. We have an overload of golf fish here, which is kind of cool too.
We just really appreciate all your help. We had probably one of the largest turnouts we've had in 4 or 5 years last Monday night, so we appreciate you guys helping Santa, I guess I should say, corral all the kids and making it a good night for them as well. So.
I love that. And then for this month, last Saturday actually, we went for Santa shopping with our Angel Tree gifts. We shopped for 43 people, and with the coupon money and the food bag, we were able to buy some really awesome gifts for them. And so we received $500 from the Angel Tree budget and had $384 from our Easter event. And we used $884 and we saved $170. And because of savings, we were able to buy 596 community cards for all these different and then next month, we don't have any need for work meetings. And then the leaders are planning on Saturday, January 12th for the council party. And we hope you will join us specifically for Nico's breakfast. We're good for
Still, breakfast is pancakes, just like we've done in the past, and we want something different this year.
If you'd like to, right, if you'd like that.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
At what time?
At 9. Right, Michelle?
Yeah, 9 to 1. Yeah, we start at 9 with breakfast.
So if we can be there a little early to have our grills hot and blow all the cheeses.
Well, we have taken possession of the movement by the January.
We hope so.
We're supposed to have the city Christmas party the night before.
Yeah, we should. They told us stop now about the 7th of October, so we're thinking about it.
I'll talk to you later about maybe little things for the new, see what we can do, okay?
Any questions?
Are you planning on going to the legislature again in January? Do we have a date on that?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Oh, I thought I had it in my calendar.
The 30th.
So,
30th.
The 30th.
Oh, yeah, it is the 30th, yeah. I do have it.
Okay, we look forward to that as well. Okay, anything else in there? We appreciate how you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item number 6 on the agenda is council kudos. I'll turn the time over to Julie.
All right. So we have 2 recipients of the Council Kudos Award this month. And one is here, so we will do him first. So Sparky, if you'll stand up so everyone can see who you are. Sparky is one of our employees in the Public Works Department. He also is over the water, and he was instrumental in showing up and responding to the recent fire that happened in our city. And he took it upon himself to go around and verify that the those hydrants had been turned on and were properly working so that we didn't face that problem again. And we really appreciate you being willing to come out on your own time and taking the initiative to make sure that our residents are safe.
Well, it's not very often I get to come up here in front of all my bosses.
We appreciate
You know,
what you do.
and that said, thank you, but you know, I have to have,
Yes,
I got a team,
yep.
if there's no one I can take, you know, I learned that in the fifth grade, or seventh. You know, I get calls from these people that know us, when, response time is, when you hear about fire, you have to run.
Yeah.
It takes the whole team, so.
Yes, so
I'm
please
taking
have.
one for the team.
Awesome. Good job. Well, please also pass on our gratitude to the Public Works Department, and you guys did awesome with your first snowstorm as well, so I was thinking about you on Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, here's your gift certificate. So if you pick Lowe's, so come on up, you get to shake our hands too.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Sparky, appreciate all you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Too bad your team's not gonna win the competition in the state.
Well, you know what, I've heard others. I got some videos. People love your city.
So
Thank you.
our other recipient was Officer Corey Boyle. And Officer Boyle is the canine handler for Ranger, who is our bloodhound, who helps in assisting in searching and finding people. Last July, Corey was called on a call up to Morgan County, and a fugitive had been, had fled, thank you, I can speak, hello, had run. He had no shoes on and he left his two kids behind. And so Corey was called up to track him and, ended up finding him, and this gentleman, this man, was involved in one of the, killings of a Florida police officer. So with the help of Officer Boyle and Ranger, he has now been sent back to Florida to save But we appreciate Officer Boyle and Ranger and all that they do for us as well. So we'll make sure that he gets his Cold Stone gift card. Yes. So that, yeah, he had training, just like he tried to be here, but.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, item number 7, consideration to approve, an extraordinary recycle rate increase request from Waste Management. We'll invite, Mr. Leonelli, is that?
You got
Is it close enough?
it close enough. Nope, it's spot
Okay.
on. First off, council, thank you so much for having me. Hopefully you received in your bill this month the item that we talked about last month. We tailored that to your organization, to your city, to make sure that, you know, strictly the items that can be recycled will be recycled. I hope that helps the residents, make an effort so we're putting the right things in the recycle stream. So, we put together a game plan, Gary and myself, to what would be the best approach. You know, we can't do everything, but we tried to limit the, items that could be done. And so what we came up with was, we thought, the bill insert would be most helpful, and then after much discussion, based on whether the magnet on the fridge or the sticker, it was decided that the sticker would be the best approach to be placed on the cans. We have ordered those items. They should be here within the next 3 weeks, give or take, and then I will be delivering those to you. Gary had mentioned that thought it would be a good idea to do have it be a scout project. We're willing to assist in that process as well. So we did offer, we would love to be an assistant if need be. I'll offer my own assistance as well. So we've taken care of that. And then lastly, what we've done is we do have content for your organization. We looked into into possibly doing Facebook and all of that, what we came up with was, we can provide you the content for your website, for the city's website, and you can disperse that, as needed. So, all that being said, we took into consideration everything that was said last month, and we would greatly appreciate, the approval of the request.
Okay, any questions?
No, thank you for doing that. That flyer was great. It was very clear. And, I appreciate you guys acting so quickly
Oh,
and getting that done.
Thank you. And that was with Gary's help, so thank you very much. Gary.
Very Maureen.
Yeah,
Maureen,
and Maureen.
they're in charge of it.
Is that flyer gonna be available to have on our city website?
So I've given a PDF to Maureen and Gary, so they do have that available. If you need me to disperse it to anybody else, I can, or you can receive that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mostly just for Gary on that, when are we thinking about putting them on the can? But I would like to almost wait till spring. It'll be drier, it'll be cleaner. We have this, we're gonna do it again in 3 months, 4 months to remind them. So I would, and then hopefully by then too, there's gonna be scouts coming down the line. That could kind of spearhead legal project.
Yeah, I've already got some individual calls on it, but that probably makes sense. So you'd suggest we wait till like March or April, when it's dry?
I think you probably have a better chance of sticking,
Right.
staying around.
And I think that
Comment on the stickers.
Yes.
The stickers, it does not matter. So that's strictly your call. These are not a sticker that you go buy at the store, once it's on it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of, money is spent on these stickers. So whether you choose to do them, as long as it doesn't have snow or it's a straight wet surface, they will adhere very well. So
Do you have a preference where we place them?
that is completely up to you. So it's whatever's going to be best for your residents. So that's strictly up to you. We don't have any distinction of what that goes.
No. Once we get the stickers, I'll talk with those scouts and volunteers, and we'll come back and report, and you can give us the direction if you want.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that information, then I would call for a motion to approve the rate increase of $1.15. Starting January 1st.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we do allow for the extraordinary recycling rate increase of $1.15.
Second,
I'll second.
have a motion second, all in favor, Matt?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, it passes, thank you. Okay, we're gonna wait, I'm gonna hold off that open session for a little later, we'll do, Matt, you got planning commission?
Yeah, they had probably one of their long planning, I like long meetings, so I'm sure there's been at least 2 hours to, had a good conversation about the new general plan and the presentation, which opened up a major discussion again. They're still going through a lot of those issues. There is kind of a what if, kind of a movement a little bit of, is there a place anywhere for like a fourplex to be built or something? No one wants a great big mega building, but sometimes in a neighborhood, a duplex or a fourplex, those people tend to be assimilated into the neighborhood very easily and very quick. And they did talk about, well, we're talking about everything's gonna get pushed to the northwest corner, all our high density. So it's almost my personal feeling as well, they haven't presented even any formal recommendations, but that's something that we look at, things like Bountiful has done with the mother-in-law apartments and things like that, now are not allowed. Is that something that we should be looking at, but still not getting into the great mega complexes, but to just sprinkle those things throughout the city to help us meet our, affordable housing, quotas, or whatever you want to call them, mandates. But that's just something to maybe start thinking about a little bit, because right now, there's such a push of not my neighborhood, no, and everything's kind of pushing. The main obvious spot is, we want every possible housing project to be pushed down to that corner. If so, what does that do to that corner? It's nothing but 100 unit apartment. Right.
We've had discussions with the property owner and possible developer.
Right.
And so we're looking at that now, there's no agreement. So we can't really put anything or have anything definite that they're proposing right here. And so we've had a request from the property owner.
Right.
And we're looking at that, so.
And that's good, we're gonna do that part right too, but that's just something that just comes through, is that we wanna stick with our very strong mandate of no multifamily, mother-in-law apartment, duplex or anything. Or if there, we find a way to maybe say in certain places, in certain areas, a certain number might be something to look at. Again, that was kind of an overtone of theirs, but a lot of that might be personal feeling as well. They don't get to say anything, so sit there. But no, it was a very good meeting, they're taking it very seriously. And the document, I don't know if you've seen, like, what, 400 pages or some lovely document. So no, that's it.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, Ryan? Southfield Sewer District.
So, mine is, first I had it up and running, so. We didn't have a super exciting meeting. We talked, I know.
Another crappy meeting.
Yeah, another crappy meeting. We just, really just updates on the two projects. We did have looked at a revised proposed budget for 2019. And, but just an update on the two projects. Both of them are a little bit, one of them is well behind schedule now. The other, we were hoping to accept the food waste, by now and have it up and running, actually exporting gas. The gas scrubbing equipment that will take the natural gas and clean it to the point that it can be pipeline grade and put into the pipeline to burn in homes or businesses, is delayed. And so it won't, I think it's here now, but they have to get it and hook it up and start all the testing and everything. And so it'll probably be February before they're really, making and generating natural gas, and probably towards the end of February or maybe March before they're ready to be in full-scale production. So as we get closer, after the first of the year, to things being ready for that, one of the two projects, they'll have an open house and invite folks in to come see the project and how it's going to be. There are a couple of exciting parts to it, and we talked a little bit when Nathan Rich was here from Wasatch Integrated 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. And there's a couple of processes that they're actively looking at. There's the process that they've been developing down at BYU that kind of takes the regular bugs that are in there and turns them into super bugs somehow. And all the food waste that comes into the digester, normally it generates a certain amount of gas from that, and they're able to utilize so much of the nutrients that come in. This boosts that to where it's much more efficient, much more effective, so they can take and run like 4 or 5 times the amount of material through and generate just this much larger volume of gas with the same digester capacity. So that's great, because as they accept food waste from up and down the Wasatch Front, they'll take care of all of that and make it so that they have additional capacity before they would have to expand. Now there is, Dominion Energy has expressed an interest in the project, And it was interesting because, when it was Questar, before Dominion bought Questar didn't have much interest. In fact, they made it fairly difficult to, have a hookup to the pipeline, and it was super expensive, all these things. And now Dominion has showed up, and we've really got the interest of the Dominion corporate. So they brought in the CEO and several of the top management from Dominion, and, Dominion's very interested now in, expanding the operation and making it so that as they bring in this additional product, it would benefit Dominion because the gas is generated here locally, and they're able to supplement the gas that they get out of the basin and out of the wells that they have. Plus, they can turn around and market it as green gas. So Dominion has, actually expressed an interest in helping fund, phase 2 of the project and being a partner in the project, which, is pretty exciting. Dominion is one of the larger, energy companies nationwide, and Questar is a piece of that. But it's got their attention, and they are pushing forward with helping with the, this new technology out of BYU and getting everything to where it could be put together and work as this, phase 2. So I'll keep you updated on that, and I'll let you know when the open house is. I'm sure you wanna come see the project. The winter time's the better time anyway, because it's not as snowy as the summertime. So, the algae project has hit a snag. They, are working through that, so I've given you an update on this before, but I have a little more information. So, as, with the algae project, what it is it, attaches to the end of the wastewater treatment process at the sewer district. And, the state and the EPA are looking at reduced limits for nutrients that can be discharged when the process is finished. Phosphorus and nitrogen and different, nutrients that come through the wastewater process. That wastewater processing doesn't remove all of those nutrients. It cleans the water and does several things, but there's still nutrients that are discharged into the environment. And so because it goes into the Jordan River, which then goes into the lake, they're looking at reducing the limits of what can be discharged, and reducing those limits would put a pretty big financial burden on the sewer district and all of the sewer districts across the state. In order to meet those limits, the city of Logan, which has a process up there with their sewer district, it would cost their sewer district about $110 million to build a new plant in order to be able to meet these limits. That's pretty significant. The South David Sewer District serves 5 cities: Woods Cross, West Bountiful, North Salt Lake, and Centerville. So size-wise, they're bigger than Logan, and, it has the ability to make it so that, it attaches to the end of the process. It runs all that wastewater through some glass tubing, and the glass tubing is exposed to an ultraviolet light, and they introduce some algae into that water. It then circulates, and the algae eat those nutrients and actually remove the nutrients. And then the algae, continue to grow, and they get cycled through, and eventually they get pulled off. And part of them get taken out because they get saturated with algae. So as some of that algae is harvested, it then can get sold on the open market, and, BP, so British Petroleum, has a contract to purchase that algae. They can use it to create an oil-based product to, do petroleum for your car, or oil to keep your engine lubed. They can use it to, BP is buying the gas. The algae is gonna be bought by a company called Algix. But they can turn it into a petroleum product. Most of you that have tennis shoes on have some kind of a foam in the insole. That algae can be turned into a foam, that doesn't absorb odors, it lasts longer, it can be biodegradable when it is disposed of, all these things. And so, we pull the algae out, it then helps pay for the project. The project is like I wanna say it's $40 million to build, to put on the end of this, plant, but it should pay for itself when it gets up and running. I know, long story, you guys can want to know this information, but I have to make it exciting. So, as that process goes on, the first day or two of the process, the algae get in there and they're eating up all these nutrients and they're growing and multiplying. And then all of a sudden they hit a point where something happens and a level of toxicity builds up and it starts to kill off all the algae. And then it's not making new algae and you can't harvest it once the algae's dead. So they're looking into it and they think they've figured out what it is. Dixie Baller's interested in these things. But it's interesting because as they do it on the south plant, that's where it happens. The one over on Center Street in North Salt Lake, when they run the process on the north plant, there's no issues. It doesn't build up this toxicity level. So they figured out that it's some heavy metals that as the algae are in there and as the water is circulated through the system, those heavy metal levels build up to the point that it starts to kill off the algae. And they don't know if it's just more natural in their water, whether it's from the wells that they draw from or where it's coming from, if it's being discharged from heavy industry. They're looking into all of those things. So they've looked at it, they can treat it with some chemicals, and that helps to make it so that it, they can remove it. The other thing they can do is put in another filter, and they have a place in the process where they left a gap that will just have some piping, where they can pull that piping out and put this new process in, and it's a filtration. And they think that they can do it with a fairly inexpensive cloth filter. And that will filter out the heavy metals to where it quits building up and will do it before it goes through the system, and then it won't do it. So they think they've got it solved, but they're not sure yet. If the cloth filters won't do it, they'll have to go to a more expensive filter and maybe a combination of a chemical and a filter and make it so that it can go through there. I'm not the engineer, so I don't know all of the language they talk about, but it's delayed it significantly. We're probably still a year out from it being up and running in production. So there's my update. Any questions on that? I know that's
So they haven't identified what heavy metals they are.
Copper, I told them people need to quit flushing pennies. But it's copper and lead, and some of that they just know comes out of the pipes, because most of you, if you have an older home, either have copper piping in your home or galvanized piping. And the galvanized piping, as it goes through the galvanization process, some of those heavy metals are present in that process. So as water sits in your pipes at home, water is a corrosive agent, and it will actually eat the pipes slowly over time, so it's pulling some of that out of the pipes. And then as it goes into the sewer, it goes in there and it gets concentrated as it goes through that process. So, but why it happens in North Salt Lake on that plant, it takes everything kind of on the very south end of the sewer district, and not in the north plant that takes more of West Bountiful and Centerville and a chunk of Bountiful and a chunk of which crosses waste that they don't know.
Refinery.
And that's a question that they're looking into, and they're testing, trying to figure out if it is coming from the refineries. But the biggest thing with that, Dixie, because I knew you were gonna say that.
That's not fair. That's not fair. I don't know that for a fact, but that's the first place I looked.
And that's what I asked, and so they're looking into it, but for the most part, the water that they take from the refineries is only from their bathrooms. It's not from the refining process. They actually have their own plant on site that cleans and treats the water from the refining process. Because that was my question was, well, that makes sense to me. Here's this heavy industrial user, and could it be the refinery? So they're testing that and trying to see if maybe there's more of the process that's coming through instead of just the bathrooms and the break rooms and that.
And our streets don't drain into that same sewer system, right?
No, they go into the stormwater and not into the sanitary sewer, so. Anyway, it's kind of, really made the engineers scratch their head. Why the difference between the two plants when really you have similar aged homes between Bountiful and Centerville and North Salt Lake and Woods Cross from the older areas, plus a lot of new construction. Woods Cross also has, in West Bountiful, have refineries located there that do discharge into the system, and, so they don't know. But it will eventually get up and running and generate money to pay for itself, which is exciting. So we might be the first sewer district in the whole world that, pays you a rebate for flushing the toilet. I know, don't write that down in stone, but, it is very possible in the future that if both processes get up, that they'll generate enough revenue to cover the whole process.
Thank you. Any other questions for Ryan? No. Okay, thank you, Ryan, I appreciate it. So just a couple of things here. We had our COG meeting this week, and, we had some great discussion about, we got to meet Carlton Christensen and Beth Holbrook, who's been newly appointed to the UTA board, by the governor. They came and spoke to us. We went over UTA budget, in the next little while anyway. And, surprising how many billions of dollars that they spend every year. But anyway, that's, we had a great discussion. Andrew Gubler, I guess that's how you pronounce his last name, Gubler, yes. Andrew Gubler from Wasatch, from Regional Council was there, and we talked about the third quarter local option sales tax for transportation. There's currently 4 local option transportation sales taxes authorized by the Utah State Code. These options are referred to as quarters, not necessarily referring to a quarter in the year, but as a percentage of a 0.25%. Davis County has imposed the first and the second and the fourth quarters. The third quarter is still available for imposition by the county. And so we talked about that with all the mayors of all the cities of Davis County and the county commission. They've asked for a letter from each city council either supporting or not supporting that implementation. And so I've asked Gary to see if he can get over to Andrew to see if he can come to the next council meeting and make a presentation on that. So,
Yeah, Andrew's not available on the 18th.
Oh, he's not?
I think it's there, Wasatch from Christmas
Oh,
party.
Christmas party.
So we're scheduling for the first meeting in January.
Okay. So we do have some time, but this county is asking for that. Just, to let you know that tax would approximately, collect about $12.6 million annually that the cities would be able to apply for to, help fund road improvements, different types of corridor preservation, congestion mitigation, that type of thing that we would be looking at. But
They're on sales tax?
It's a sales tax, it's not a gas tax. And so anyway, I guess he'll be here the first week in January and then give us a presentation on that, so we can all better understand how that impacts us and our residents, so. Okay. We also talked, Davis County Health Department, was there, gave a presentation. Christy Cottrell, you know her? She was there talking about the Davis Health Department Mobility Council, and the fact that they received a 5310 grant. And basically what they do is they help provide transportation, schooling and education for handicapped individuals that are immobile or paraplegic or those that are confined to wheelchairs that can't really get around. And so they gave us a presentation and told us about the success that they've had the last couple of years since they've been doing this. And it's just amazing to me how some of these individuals with this type of a handicap have never been to a movie, have never been shopping for Christmas presents or for groceries or for anything. And through this grant and the funding from the county and stuff like that, they've been able to reach out to these individuals and get them out in society. society and let them be an active part and take a role. So, that was a very interesting, presentation, so we appreciate their efforts, so. That they're doing. Other than that, I don't have anything else to report. Before we go to Gary's report, we've got on the agenda another open session, so if there's anything that we've discussed that's generated any interest or questions or concerns, feel free to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
A few weeks ago, 88 West Governor's Way. I wondered if you skipped that, Mayor, and I thought, well, maybe I missed something.
No, I skipped over it, but I will hold it for the end.
Speaking of transportation, do you think we could get a bus picked up down there in front of our 80 homes down there on Fifth Ave? Would you think we've got one by now?
You mean a UTA?
Yeah, a bus. We've got 80 families down there. We're high density. We have to walk that Fifth Ave, and I'll tell you what, that's a noisy, dirty walk.
I've discussed that with UTA, and as that area develops down there, they will add a bus route down to that area.
Okay.
The development that we were talking about, that fell through down in that area, we were talking about even having a shuttle bus running from tracks down to that area and back, so that could be a possibility as well, so
Okay.
definitely in the future.
Because 80 families, that's quite a few in that little tiny spot, you know?
Yeah.
And that is not a fun walk up Fifth Ave. We're just glad to have sidewalks. Yeah, I made that walk late at night. The other thing I was gonna ask you, Mayor, did we talk about at some point in time that Layton was not doing the recycling thing? Did we talk
That's
about
been mentioned several times.
Ryan might have said it a time or two.
I'm getting old and I forget what I've talked about, what I've asked and what I haven't, so I do try to write it down so I don't beat you to death with the same question over and over and over, but sometimes I do. And they're the biggest population, the biggest city in Davis County?
Yeah, they are.
By quite a bit.
So I'm wondering why it didn't, was it Waste Management, was that the name of the company?
Wasatch Integrated Waste is the governmental entity that has
Well, who was
used
it?
to have the burn plant and it has the,
Well, who
So
was
their
it?
argument, Dixie, was, when I was on the board, their argument was that the burn plant pretty much burned 80% of what was recyclable anyway to generate steam, and so they felt like they were doing their part in recycling, and that, because most of that was being burned and generated into steam. But now, with the burn plant gone, it's just, we're all contributing, I guess, if we're not recycling to the short.
Did you tell them that we're refining the gas and inhaling the air from the refineries that they're using the gas from? Did you tell them?
Well, that's a whole different subject. but-
Okay, all right, well, okay, so we're gonna spend $13 more a year. I'm wondering why this company didn't, who is this?
That's waste management.
waste management.
Okay, that name is heavy, okay.
There are.
Why didn't he go after Layton for this extra money that they needed?
Well,
Did he make a presentation to them?
Well, I don't know if he has or not. He's new to this position. Beth Holbrook, I know, talked to him before when she had the position. But it's each city's responsibility and ownership, I guess, to vote whether they recycle or not, so. And that's what we decided. We were actually the first city in Davis County to recycle.
I know, and I remember when you presented it, and I remember you saying it's the right thing to do.
It is, it really is. And so, we're hoping.
Did we have a bid on this? I mean, did we have any other companies that offered a bid on this, to do this, or prices?
Yeah, we did several.
Got several bids, and we picked Waste Management, and then have, re-extended the contract, and it'll come up again.
And by law, as a government entity, did we have to go with the lowest bid? Is there some kind of law about something like that?
Well, the law is responsible bid, but yeah, we went with the one that provided the lowest.
Okay. And one more question. I know we have an air quality group, but I never hear anything about air quality. But I can tell you right now, with the wood burning stuff going on down there in the mobile home park, you can't hardly breathe. So what's happening with the air quality group? We all gotta drink water and we all gotta breathe air, right? So,
Julie was a member, right?
Yeah, I still, I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, I was out of town, but,
We didn't have a whole lot of individuals there, but, you know, we've been working with the county and the state. The county's been working on, you know, the buyback for lawnmowers and other types of equipment. They talk about, the smoking diesel issue and turning in people that drive the smoking diesel. So we've been talking those issues, and talking about ways to inform and educate our residents. So,
Do you have any information on how Salt Lake City's idling law is working? Does not Salt Lake City have an idling law?
yeah.
Do you know how that's working? Have
I-
you brought in any kind of revenue? Is it working?
My understanding is it's an enforcement issue.
It's unenforceable?
There's an enforcement issue.
meaning they don't have enough people to enforce it.
Right, well, yeah,
And it's iffy too, because if you pull up to a stop sign or a stoplight, you're supposed to turn your car off, right? Since we don't have
Well,
any
I don't.
stop-start vehicles yet over here. And so if
So
somebody,
it's not working in Salt Lake from your opinion.
in my opinion, it's not, it's more voluntary than anything.
What about
And it's the same thing.
what about banning wood burning?
Well, so that's voluntary as well. So the individual that has a wood burning stove in their home should be conscientious enough of its neighbors. So if we have a red burn day, they should not be burning. Yellow day, you probably shouldn't either. If it's green, then go ahead and burn, but.
And it's not voluntary, if it's a red one, it's mandatory unless it's your only heating source.
Right.
And
But there again, it's an enforcement issue.
Right.
You know, so we don't have the manpower in Woods Cross, or I'm sure none of the cities
The
have
health
manpower.
department, whoever it is that issues.
Okay, and we have some air monitoring going on in the city. We have how many test sites?
I mean, we have.
well, those have actually been pulled out. They found that calibrating them, and they were too sophisticated and required too much maintenance, so the county pulled them out.
So it was a county monitoring?
Well, they were purchased by Silver Eagle, and then the county took over maintaining them and operating them. And what they found out is they spent more time in the shop doing repair than they were out. So what county's going with is the purple monitors that are much cheaper and an individual can purchase and have at their home and then tie into the system.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So there's a website where you can go to and it'll bring those up and you can kind of see what the is.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate it. Anything else for open session? If not, council, do you have anything for open session? Okay, Gary, item number 13.
Mine's really short, same as that, was on the general fund. Now, all of you, did you get the link?
I couldn't find it in any of my emails.
Okay.
I don't think I got it, I've kind of looked up there, but I don't remember getting it to my personal.
I'll have Tim resend out the link, so you can.
And did they get the link to work, because the planning commission was having a hard time opening the link.
Okay.
I think they give me a thumb drive to someone so they couldn't get it.
Okay,
Yeah.
I opened it, but, I'll have Tim resend it.
I got the whole zoning ordinance attachment.
Right.
And that one I'm having a hard time downloading, just because it's seven or eight megs, but, and because my connection's not very good
Okay.
right here, but I don't think I got one for the general.
Okay, I'll have Tim resend it out to you. Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
I have something. Oh, good. Our new recorder starts next Monday. And who is it?
We're excited.
Can I say?
Yes.
Can you
Sure, yeah.
Can you put the microphone down and repeat that, please?
Sure. I said our new city recorder starts next Monday.
Okay.
Which means Jessica won't be here at our next city council.
No, I probably
Or will you, on that side?
Congratulations.
She might be sitting in this seat and I'll be off.
Her name is Annette Hanson.
Yeah, we should go look them down and see.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
Congratulations.
Yay.
I worked with her when we did on the committee to hire the new breakfast street,
Oh, great.
director, so she is very good.
Yeah, you'll all work it.
She's good. We are excited. And I talked to Mary Lewis last night, and we weren't too happy, but we still heard from Michael, but he's happy for her, because she's been in there. Okay, so, call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Look at that, under an hour. I have, yeah, we need to document this, we not found out early.
Thank you for coming,
Like,
I'll see all your,
7 months.
your fault.
I think you guys do for an hour and a half, I don't know.